Hello everybody, and welcome to this tutorial on how to use a farmhouse sink in one of our farm sink cabinets. I'm going to go through the specs here, and we're going to try to figure out what dimension this cabinet needs to be ordered at. So let's open up our forum page here. This customer is needing a Porcer London farm sink cabinet, single bowl. Let's open up the specs, and we go right to their web page. And usually you're going to see something like a spec sheet or installation instructions. Most likely the spec sheet is going to have what we need. So let's save that file and then open up the PDF. PDF's going to have all of our information. I'm going to do, there's a few different options here as far as how to mount this sink. As you notice here, you can mount it where it's flush with the top of the granite. You can mount it so, well, that's like the same one, okay. So here we go. You can mount it so it's up above. And then the more popular ways to do it is to undermount the farm sink cabinet so the granite actually runs over the top there. So let's open up again those specs. Here we go. The thing we want to do is find a couple of dimensions here. The most important is going to be the opening height, and that's really what most customers are asking us for. The depth is going to be 20 inches. That's from the front to the back of the sink. This is a top view, obviously. That's mildly important. Just make sure your cabinet is at least 24 inches deep, and most sinks will work with a 24-inch deep base cabinet. Over here, this is the most important dimension, 11.5, and now that's going to be our opening height. And because we want it to basically be from the bottom of the granite to the, so let's say our countertop is this piece right here. I'm going to draw the countertop in over here. So from the bottom of the top of the drawer stretcher to the bottom of the countertop is basically our opening height, and that's 11.5. Now you do see a dimension over here, and that's basically the sink drain and basically the basin of the sink. And that's definitely a good one to follow, but you're going to probably want to shim that up a little bit in the back because we don't really know from these pictures, we don't know what type of support or really how this sink is shaped. Now if we look at the picture of the actual sink on their website, let's just take a look here. There we go. Notice how it's just all flat all the way around, so it's a pretty simple shape. So anyway, we know that the opening height needs to be 11.5, as we examined here, 11.5. So let's go to our web page right here, two-door farm sink cabinet. If you're wondering where this is, go to Sink Cabinets and then scroll down until you see the one that has a farm sink in it. And let's do the width. I should have done that first, but whatever. So we got the height of 34.5. Depth is 24. I'd recommend sticking with those standards. The opening height, opening width is always going to be 1/2 of an inch less than the overall width of the cabinet. Notice how we have a couple of supports going up on the side here. That'll keep your sink separate and away from the doors and drawer fronts on the cabinets that come into it. Opening height here, what do we say? 11.5. So let's just do 11.5 for the opening height. That's locked in. We're good to go. Now the width of the sink cabinet itself is pretty similar here. We got 36 inches, and it looks like if the width of the sink cabinet itself is 36, then we're obviously going to need to add 1.5 inches onto that. So basically, notice here the opening width needs to be 36 inches wide. So I would order a 37.5 inch wide cabinet. 37.5 right there. The height of the cabinet is whatever your other base cabinets are. The depth of the cabinet is going to be 24 inches. You could do 24 inches or 26 if you want to step it out just a little bit. But if you do step it out, I'd highly recommend adding some finished-in panels to the sides here to cover up the construction holes from the other base cabinets. Okay, so let's just leave it at 24. Obviously, the rest of this stuff is really up to you. Shaker inset panel, paint grade, I mean, that's all really your thing. But ultimately, this is what our cabinet would need to be. 37.5 inches wide with an opening height of 11.5. And the depth needs to be 24 so it can fit your 20-inch sink in there. You'd be good to go. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Thanks again. Have a good day.